A great weekend project is the installation of shutters on your home's openings. There are many different shutters available, and we're going to talk about the two most common that homeowners can install themselves. If you're considering a pre-manufactured shutter, you're going to want to make sure it's product tested and code approved for your area. That's often labeled right on the shutter. But today we're going to show you how to build and install temporary emergency plywood shutters in the event you don't have any other type of shutter available. Now, an important part of this project is planning. Planning considers items such as what kind of wall construction you have, as there's a variety of hardware available depending on what kind of wall construction your home's made of. Further information about this whole project is available on the Flash website. It looks like we've got everything we need, so let's get started. As part of the planning process we talked about, we're going to count all our window openings and we're going to get proper measurements of them. I only want to cut my plywood once, so I want to make sure all my measurements are accurate. I'm going to measure my width, and then I'm going to add 4 inches on each side to allow for a surface area to mount that shutter. And then I'm going to measure my height. I'm only going to add 4 inches on the top because I've got a protruding windowsill, so I don't have to worry about that area. Let's go cut our plywood. We're ready to mark out our plywood. We're using 5/8 because that's been determined to be the minimum thickness we want to use to protect our windows as temporary shutters. So let's put our measurements on our plywood. And we're ready to make our cut. Okay, we've got our plywood laid out, marked, ready to cut, braced on some safety sawhorses, and of course our eye protection. We're ready to go. Okay, we're ready to mark and drill our holes. Now our holes are going to be 12 inches apart and 2 inches in from the edge. Now I've thrown a lot of numbers at you, but once again remember, all this information is available at the Flash website. So let's go ahead and mark them. Now we're ready to drill our holes. Now the diameter of the bit we're going to use is dependent on the hardware we're going to use to hold the shutter to the house. Why, once again, the planning process is very important because you want to determine what kind of hardware you're going to use before you ever drill the hole. I'm making the hole about 1/8 of an inch bigger in diameter because it makes it a little bit easier to fit the shutter to the home. So let's drill. Now we're ready to fit this temporary plywood shutter to the window. I got help from my friend Ben here because these can be kind of heavy. We're going to hold it up there, I'm going to mark my holes, and then I'm going to come back and drill the holes for the specialized application of hardware that I'm going to use for this brick wall. Once I get those put in, this window is protected. Let's review. When choosing your shutters, remember to look for code-tested shutters for your local area. Don't forget, proper planning is essential to the success of your project. Assemble your tools and hardware, measure carefully, and always use proper safety equipment. Visit the Flash website to get a list of proper hardware for your type of wall construction. See you next time to talk more about protecting your home in a flash.